I am doing a quick video on this Oset 24R electric trials bike, and I'm sort of comparing it roughly with the Yamaha trials, just for a reference on size, pegs to handlebar sizing and positioning, which are very much the same. So this Oset 24R is pretty much just as capable for adults. I mean, I've been using it here in my backyard because we're in lockdown here and we can't really do much here in Melbourne, Australia. Can't go anywhere, can't go, within 5 k's of your own home, so you kind of restrained from doing any kind of trials riding at all, unless you live on a farm or you live in the countryside. But if you're in suburban Melbourne, you're pretty much stuck where you are. So there's been no riding for months. So I purchased this Oset, second-hand Oset, in very good condition. It's an 18 model, 2018, in very good condition, and it seems to have quite stiff suspension. So I dare to say it's been upgraded to the adult, to the springs and all that, and the suspensions have been upgraded to the adult weight. So it takes me pretty well. I'm 95 kilos, and there's no sag, and you can sort of adjust to these suspensions in preload and all that, and they can stiffen up really hard at the back, and even the front forks you can adjust them for compression and preload and all that, and they work really well. I've got to say, they work really well. And then when my son, who's 11, rides it, and he's half the weight of me, we just set it all back to soft, and it suits him. So anyhow, I've only been riding it here in the backyard, which is only yay big, and it's been really good. You got the neighbours just over the fence there, and no one can hear anything. This thing's really silent, and you can practice trials all day, and no one would ever know what you're doing. So they're very good. I was quite surprised. This is a 19-inch wheel at the front and a 17 at the back, so it's not quite a full size like you can see on the Yamaha. It's got the full size tyres and wheels, but for the backyard, it works more than good. And I'm quite surprised. It's got a lot of power, and the good thing about this, I'm quite surprised, is you can see here the adjustments. You've got speed, you've got power, and you've got response, and you can dial them right down. And in fact, for my backyard, where I'm just practicing lock to locks and all that kind of stuff there, I've got them all down to just about the minimum, and that's more than enough. And if you've got a novice rider, or people that wants to learn how to ride, you can dial it down to virtually walking pace, so very safe. And when you crank it up, it's got a lot of power, a lot of response, a lot of torque. What could I compare it to? I could probably compare it to maybe not quite a 125, but you could probably compare it to an 80, like a Beta 80. This size here bike, this bike here is pretty much the same size as a Beta 80 Junior with the smaller wheels, and I think power-wise it's pretty much comparable to a Beta 80. I don't think it probably has the same kind of snap and power and all that of a 125, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't been out on the bush with it. Haven't been jumping logs and all that, so I don't really know. I couldn't really compare it to anything, but I dare to say that it would be quite capable, and the battery life is quite a lot. I mean, I've been practicing it for the last month. So you just turn the key on like that. Now, and you've got the lights come on there. So this is still fully charged. You know, eventually these lights will go down as the battery empties, but I have still not got to that point in my ownership of it, so it's still been pretty much full charge for over a month that I've had it. So all in all, I think these Oset 24 hours for adults and or for kids, say over 10 years old, are very much the way to go. You know, and look, I've always been skeptical of electric bikes, but you know, you just come, you turn the key, and you bang, you're ready to go. Where with these, you know, with the petrol bikes, it's a different story. You know, they're noisy to start with, so if you're in a built-up area in suburbia, you can forget about that. And you know, starting them up, the smoke, the petrol, this and that, and you know, the hassle of all that. The only thing I can say that it doesn't have is a clutch, which would have been nice to have, I think, one of those electric clutches or something, and definitely a rear brake down there for sort of to sort of keep it as close as a petrol bike's dynamics as possible. But however, said all that, you know, if you've got no other choice but this in a suburban area, well, it's definitely better than nothing else. So, and this right here, and other bikes are just no. You just can't use them. You know, you can use them for about 5 minutes in your backyard, and then you got to really, you know, unless you don't care about your neighbours, you just can't use them. So yeah, here we go. Oset's 24R electric trials bike. Very good bike, and well designed. You can see the frame is very strong. The rear forks, the swing arm there is very nicely built as well, very strong. You know, you got the front forks here are pretty sturdy, and you know, you got the double, triple clamps there, and so it's well built. No, it's definitely well built, and it's not cheap. Brand new, they're about $6,000 here in Australia, and I got this for about 4.5. You know, it's not cheap, but if you've got no other alternative, this is the way to go. All right, well, hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos on other trials bikes, other motorbikes, and other topics. So even the cat's having a sniff at it. See you soon with other videos. Ciao, from Melbourne, Australia.